What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Cosmic Wonder. I'm Warren Thompson, and things are going down right now in the multiverse, in the Marvel Cinematic Multiverse right now. It looks like ultimately the entire multiverse is going to start collapsing, which is going to bring us right into Avengers Secret Wars, and apparently this is going to be a pretty big plot point for the ending of the Fantastic Four reboot film that is coming to the MCU, hopefully pretty soon. Fingers crossed. So today we'll talk about a new report that has been going around that talks about how the Fantastic Four is going to end and then goes into Secret Wars. It does line up with some other reports that we have heard recently, so this could actually be what is going to happen in the Fantastic Four film. And yes, if you were wondering, it does involve Galactus, and hopefully a non-cloud form Galactus. And yes, it does look like this film is going to take place in another universe, which we've been talking about for a while. So let's dive into it. And if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on the Fantastic Four and MCU. And if you subscribe and leave a comment, you are automatically entered in our giveaway for a chance to win an Xbox Series X, a PS5, some Marvel Legends items, or some DC items. Winner gets to pick one item, and we pick one winner at the end of each month. So this report today is coming from somebody who leaked some stuff about Secret Invasion that ended up being accurate. Same thing goes for some leaks about Daredevil Born Again. Now that Daredevil Born Again is essentially canceled, the version that they had at least, and is now being rewritten and reworked, a lot of what was going to happen during the first season has been coming out. And one of those things is that Foggy was going to be dead in Daredevil Born Again. He was going to be killed off in episode 1. That has now come to light and been proven true. Will that happen in the rewrite for Daredevil Born Again? We're unsure, but the point is that report was right. So it's coming from user u/dborn1. And here's the report. Fantastic Four's last draft had them in the 60s in another universe. Now, this is what we've heard so far, so this is in line with everything that we've heard. Many insiders have reported about this, so it's probably true since a lot of people are hearing the same thing. And I have a theory on how I think it's all going to work out in the end after Secret Wars. But the report continues to state, where they are the only heroes and huge stars, speaking of the universe that they are in. So they're going to be the only heroes in this universe. It's essentially going to be like one of the old Fantastic Four films that we saw. There are no other heroes in those universes. It's just the Fantastic Four, and they're famous because they are, again, the only superheroes. So of course, all the spotlight is going to be on them. Plus, something I have always loved about the Fantastic Four is that they do not hide who they are. Their identities are known to everyone. So obviously they're going to be pretty famous in this other universe. The report continues and states they have to save their world from Galactus and his heralds, but they lose. And here's where it gets juicy. And the TVA save them and take them to the new universe. Now this is very, very interesting, and I do really like the idea of them losing to Galactus and also being taken to a new universe. That way, when they get to a new universe and we move forward in that new universe, a whole bunch of new stories can happen because they are in a different universe. Now this lines up really well with everything that we've heard about Deadpool 3. What we've heard from insiders is that in Deadpool 3, the multiverse is going to start to collapse and a lot of incursions are going to start to happen. So the TVA is going to start to take certain heroes from universes that are collapsing and dying, and they're going to take them and put them all in one universe on one world, kind of like a spin on Avengers Secret Wars Battle World. And even though they are saving a bunch of heroes, I'm sure they'll actually try to save some powerful villains as well, because from what we believe, the TVA is going to save certain people so they can help fight Kang and all of the Kang variants. So once all of these heroes and I believe villains are going to be in one place, I'm sure they're going to fight. I'm sure it still will be a type of battle world. We can assume that they're not all going to get along, especially if you have people like Victor Von Doom going up against Reed Richards, going up against Tony Stark, going up against Doctor Strange, a lot of conflicting big personalities there. And what I basically imagine is kind of like how the first Avengers film was. They all fought a lot in the beginning and almost wanted to physically fight each other, Captain America and Tony Stark, but eventually come together in the end. I think that's what's going to happen in Deadpool 3 and Secret Wars. However, I think some actual fighting is really going to go down, especially because we know that not everyone is going to survive the events of Deadpool 3. But apparently the end of the Fantastic Four is going to show us the Fantastic Four losing to Galactus and some of his heralds, maybe the Silver Surfer, fingers crossed, and then the TVA is going to take them to this battle world type of place. And from there, I'm sure all of the heroes are going to come together and say, hey, we gotta defeat Kang and his variants. We gotta get rid of the Council of Kangs. And that will be Secret Wars. Now, what happens to the Fantastic Four after Secret Wars, as well as the other heroes? I have a theory. We'll talk about that in just a bit, but first, big thank you to Fume for sponsoring this video. Fume is a game changer for a lot of people in turning bad habits into good habits. A lot of people struggle with these bad habits, but Fume looks at these in a different way. Not everything in the habit is wrong. So instead of a drastic, uncomfortable change, why not just remove the bad from your habit? And that's exactly what Fume does. They're innovative and they're award-winning, and they're a flavored air device. That's all it is. It's flavored air. So it has none of the bad things and the bad habit in it. Instead of vapor, it uses flavored air. Instead of electronics, Fume is completely natural. And instead of harmful chemicals, Fume uses delicious flavors. I had actually heard really great things about Fume from my friends who were struggling with some bad habits. They actually raved about it and how it helped them, which is why I agreed to partner with them. And they sent me some samples, and they honestly are super refreshing and taste very flavorful and good. And it comes in beautiful real wood, and it's honestly really fun to just sit there and kind of fidget with if you're someone who likes to fidget like I do. And I know stopping is something we all put off because it's hard, but with Fume, it's easy, and they have served over 150,000 customers and have thousands of success stories. And that could be you if you pick up a journey pack today. Head over to tryfume.com and use code COSMIC to save 10% off when you get the journey pack today. That's tryfum.com and use code COSMIC to save an additional 10% off your order today. So I think at this point in time, a lot of people know that a lot of insiders have reported that Marvel Studios is planning to do a soft reboot at the end of Avengers Secret Wars / the beginning of Phase 7, or possibly a Phase 1 again, depending on how they decide to do that. And the fact that a lot of people are reporting about the Fantastic Four coming from another universe into one universe where a lot of other people are going to exist, whether that be our main Earth 616 universe or a universe where the TVA has collected everybody, it seems like a lot of different heroes and villains are going to wind up in one universe. Well, going forward, I think that is probably how the MCU is going to proceed, in that one universe. And I think this might be sort of a best of both worlds situation. Because if you do a hard reboot, then everything that happened in the Infinity Saga did not happen. And that would be kind of a slap in the face to us fans and the actors who played the characters, and of course the characters themselves. But keeping characters and people in one universe who remember those old events, that way they can live on, well, that makes it to where that all still did happen, but we are in a brand new universe now. And this could explain how the Fantastic Four stay in the main universe, since they're not going to be in the main universe at first, because it wouldn't be a part of Marvel Studios' plans to have the Fantastic Four come from another universe and then go back to that universe, but proceed with storytelling of the Fantastic Four in that universe, because that would be completely separate from everything else that is going on. So the logical explanation to how they're going to move forward is the Fantastic Four leave their universe and stay in our universe, moving forward in the MCU. As of right now, it's very clear that in the Earth 616 universe, there's not a famous superhero group called the Fantastic Four out there anywhere, because we would have heard about them. The only mention of the Fantastic Four that we kind of got was in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which also might have been a reference to the Fantastic Four actually taking place back in time in the 60s. When Reed Richards is introduced in Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange says the Fantastic Four, didn't you guys chart in the 60s? Implying that they were actually a musical group, which could very well be the case in our universe. They might not be the superheroes that we know to be the Fantastic Four in the Earth 616 universe, but in a different reality could be a band. Whereas in this other universe where the movie is said to take place in, they are the superhero group that is famous. So needless to say, the Fantastic Four, if they somehow exist in our universe, are very different. But it sounds like the multiverse, a lot of these different universes that create the multiverse are going to be jammed into one universe, and moving forward, that will be our new MCU. I'm sure we'll talk about this more, but right away, go ahead and let us know your thoughts about this in the comments down below. Do you like this idea for the Fantastic Four being in another universe and then coming into ours, being saved at the end by the TVA, or would you rather it go differently? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe so you can stay up to date on the Fantastic Four and the MCU. You can find us on Instagram and Twitter as well, and as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.